Hello, it's Phillip Taylor speaking from Richmond Green Chambers, and this morning I'm looking at a book from Law Society Publishing. It's this book here. It's called Alternative Business Structures. It's the regulation of law firms, and it's been written by Iain Miller and Mark Pardoe, and it's part of the Law Society's publishing series, and it's under Legal Handbooks. This is the book itself. It's only 250 pages long. It's quite short. That sets out on the back what it's really about. There's a good index at the back, which you can see there. Then you've got a very substantial series of appendices all the way through, more of that later on. Then you've got a standard structure, which is the paragraph numbering at the sides, no footnotes as such at all. But do read right at the beginning the preface by Iain Miller and also the introduction, because I think the introduction itself sets the tone of where we're going with this particular new structure. Let's talk about it in some detail. We've given the book a review title, The ABS, A Generational Change. That's what it is, because Law Society Publishing have introduced a new title to their Legal Handbook series, which is Alternative Business Structures, and it's been described as the biggest change to the regulation of legal services for a generation, and so it is. The title is another practical and accessible legal title designed to guide practitioners, both barristers and solicitors, for the first time through the types of service which solicitors and other professionals can be provided with by specific organisations that are not themselves owned by lawyers. So it's a quite substantial change of direction. The reforms affect all law firms as the entire regulatory framework is being altered to accommodate these changes. Alas, it doesn't appear, however, that regulation, beloved of some sorts of people, has in any way diminished. So the change for us is no change whatsoever. But there again, that's the way it is. Now, both authors have reviewed the regulatory framework covering three areas. That's the requirements for authorisation, ongoing monitoring and compliance, and enforcement. And the aim is to provide an introductory guide to how the new organisations will be regulated. It's important to note that it'll be possible, of course, for the ABS to be licensed by the people, like the Council for Licensing, Licensed Conveyance rather, and the Bar Standards Board, for instance, and so forth. There are 6 chapters in the book and 5 appendices. The appendices are very important, and I think the most important one of the lot for people new to this is the Law Society Practice Notes, which are right at the back in Appendix E. I found that the most interesting area, because what we've got here with the introductory chapter is the view post-Clementi in terms of what we're now trying to achieve with the 2007 Act, and where we've now gone, now that some sort of agreement has actually been reached. Iain Miller says in the preface, in many places, such as in the relation to appeal mechanisms, the tension between the old and the new is clear and still needs to be resolved. So there's quite a bit of work to do yet, but I think this is a big step forward, and I'd like to thank the authors and Law Society Publishing for producing something which is very helpful. There is, in addition to this book, some further publications coming out shortly on toolkit advice for the compliance people, the new compliance officers, so we'll look for those in due course. But in the meantime, thank you very much to all concerned for a great new publication. Thank you, bye bye.